Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre SR automatic. The car's covered just 48,000 miles, finished in this lovely urban titanium, which always looks far better in the flesh than it does in the videos. It's got a really rich colour, sort of lustre to it rather. Just go around the car, front of the car, very clean. Lights and lenses are clear and intact. There's no obvious cracks or condensation in them. Bonnet's very, very clean indeed. Can't see any stone chips of any note in there at all. Near side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panels. Can't see any obvious indentation, car parking dinks that jump out at me at all. Near side front alloy, one that generally takes a lot of bashing because it's closest to the curbs. Only got a couple of very light marks. Panel work is very clean. There will always be near side, will always, because it's closest to the hedges, we'll always get the odd little light mark, but anything that's there will probably just buff out very easily, but there's nothing that jumps out at all. Near side rear alloy again, absolutely lovely. Coming around the back, again, very clean and tidy. The offside, driver's side, again, lovely and smooth in the panels, no indentations at all. Offside rear alloy, beautiful condition. The main panel work is very, very clean indeed. And likewise, offside front alloy, absolutely spot on. Really is very, very, very smart example, that one. Let's go into the boot area. Absolutely cavernous boots on the CR-Vs. Easy fold rear seats, and this one's been kept really, really nicely in the back. Let's come to the back now. You see enormous amounts of legroom, and the front seats are set for me, and I'm 6 foot tall. The half leather and Alcantara, and in the back of the CR-Vs, this is where generally, if you can see them, they're going to let themselves down because that's where the kids sit, and it's not unique to Honda. They can look scruffy just because of the heavy use. This one's been kept absolutely beautifully. Let's come to the front and passenger side. They're all very clean and tidy. Passenger seat likewise, really, really nice all today. Finally coming on the driver's door card, again like all of the rest, very, very clean. Footwell areas, really nice. Full set of original Honda mats in the car. And driver's seat again in fantastic condition. So we're inside the car now. As always, I have the engine running, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. It looks pretty much like new in all honesty. Up there, if I just pick the camera, so you can see the rear parking camera working exactly as it should there. Sorry, a little glitch on the camera there. It's kept very, very, very nicely. Come to the dashboard, binnacle now, 48,320 miles, and there are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre SR automatic. Car is registered PJ14UBL, and with a mileage of just 48,320 recorded. The reason, as I say in every video, that we do these videos is to ensure that if anyone is online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the car advertised in operation, and we try and do it on every car we sell. The reason being that, like many people, unfortunately, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in photographs or descriptions given, but only to get there and drive it and find out it's got an obvious fault as soon as you drive the car. So that's why we do it. Also done, by the way, on the same lovely quiet country roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire as we do our test drives. So hopefully it'll then be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, engine, turn the key, starts absolutely instantly of course, and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car, and temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be in a Honda vehicle. I sound a bit like a parrot because I say it in every video, but Honda build the best 4-cylinder engines in the world. There's no two ways about it, and it's not for one reason alone. It is the toughest, most reliable engine in its class. Years have proven that. They're cam chain driven, there's no cam belts to worry about. They last an eternity with regular servicing. But more than that, they're a lovely engine to use day in, day out. You know you're dealing with an engineering-led company when you just listen to the engine. It's just got such a sweet, soft, zingy quality to it. It loves to rev, but it's equally happy to lug around at very low revs without fluster or flutter in any way. It is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Matched to the, or paired rather, to the Honda automatic gearbox, which, like the engines, have a reputation for being incredibly tough and long lasting. They're also a great gearbox. Gear changes are swift, slick, to the point of being almost imperceptible. Gear ratio has obviously been selected by Honda to try and maximise the engine both in terms of economy and performance, and they've done a pretty good job on that as well. Notwithstanding reputation, you should always do the same checks on all automatic cars. Just make sure that when you're going along and the gear changes are smooth, they shouldn't clonk or bang or anything like that. But most notably actually is when you're stationary, when you select drive or reverse from park or neutral, just make sure that it doesn't select with a great thud in your back, and in every way this is perfect. It does also, by the way, have the facility to change gear manually. You don't have to move the gear lever or select anything. You just got these two paddles on the steering wheel. The left-hand one goes down the gearbox, right-hand one goes up the gearbox. And it's quite handy. It's rarely used, in all honesty, but you know, if you're going to overtake a slow-moving vehicle or something, but you don't want the gearbox to sort of suddenly change up halfway through your overtaking manoeuvre, because it'll want to save you fuel. So basically, you just pull either of the tabs back. So I'm going to have an imaginary track in front of me now. It's selected to be fourth gear, and I'm going to go drop down to, I think, second, get the revs up, accelerate past. It's not changing up. I'm changing up with my right hand to do it. It's brilliant. Works really well, functioning exactly as it should, and it turns itself off after a few seconds of operation. So coming to the steering and chassis of the car. Steering, track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations at the speed or any speed up to the legal limit. The steering itself is really nicely weighted. It's Honda were way ahead of the game with the CR-V. You know, at a time when most manufacturers were giving you some fairly clunky, horrible agricultural type things to drive, Honda based their CR-V on the Accord, so it was incredibly car-like to drive, and still is. But you know, as I said, at the time, you know, it was, you know, it's only now really that other manufacturers have started to sort of catch up. It's taken a long time. So what it gives you is this very confident drive. It's secure on the road. The steering is precise and accurate. You know, it's not sporty, it's not meant to be, but what it does, you know, it flows through corners brilliantly well, and far better than you may give it credit for, actually, because the suspension can deal with it. Too often manufacturers go to either two ways with these types of cars. They give you a pillowy soft ride, which, you know, are great for test drives, but then you go through corners like this one here and they just kind of keel over and wallow about in other corners. This one, it's got really tight body control. Go through corners, it's really well done, but the ride is still beautifully damped, absorbs pretty much all the imperfections on the road, apart from, you know, the sharpest ridges, which literally catch out any car. But they've done a fantastic job on it. Also, incidentally, this section of road is awful. I'm listening out for any kind of knocks or clonks or rattles underneath the car that shouldn't be there, and there's nothing at all. It's as solid as a rock, as they generally are. They're incredibly tough vehicles. Brakes, really, really good brake pedal on the car. They're powerful, positive, and there's no pulsing or vibration coming back through the brake pedal, so all in fine order there. Worth pointing out, by the way, after this video is done, we've done the service on the vehicle. The car will be heading off for its MOT, which is done independently of us, so we have absolutely no input into it. So finally coming inside the car, what video will never get across to you, of course, is just how well built a car is, and these are brilliantly put together cars. It's squeak free, rattle free. Again, that's typical of the breed. They are, you know, they're toughly made vehicles. but it's also just a lovely place to sit. You know, here I am on the open road, brilliant visibility all around, huge wing mirrors, so if changing lanes or reversing, you can really get a good idea of where you are placed. I can actually see a bonnet, which is a minor miracle on a modern car, but you do feel very confident. Everyone does when they drives them. The dash layout is incredibly simple, you know, and polar opposite to most modern cars in some ways, because they're horribly overcomplicated. This is simplicity itself. You've got this big radio. I mean, that if you can't operate that radio, there's something wrong with you. That's, you know, even I can, so that says it all. Down below that, we've got a dual zone air conditioning system or climate control system, so you can have different temperatures side to side if you so wish. That pumps out ice cold air, by the way, so all functioning perfectly. If you twist any knob here, press any little button, you're going to get the same beautiful quality of actuation. Honda make a real effort to make sure all of their controls have a really engineered tactile feel, and this is case in point. It's just beautifully done. Heated seats again, all working exactly as they should. And then your dash binnacle in front is your classic Honda affair. It's beautifully detailed, imparts its information perfectly, instantly, so you're not squinting to try and get the information from it. And then finally, you've got this lovely small diameter leather-bound steering wheel, which, like the rest of the interior, is it is in fantastic condition. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit there are no buttons or anything to press or activate, because it does it for you. It's automatic. The Honda, again, light years ahead of everyone else in this sense, realised very quickly that most people driving this type of car would be doing what I am today, just driving on normal roads in normal conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive on. So basically, for 99.99% of most people's driving, you're going to be in front-wheel drive, two-wheel drive only. It's the most efficient way to pull a car along. Only if it needs to go into four-wheel drive will it do so, and more quickly than you could ever react by flicking a button or anything. So what it does, if you, for sake of argument, you're pulling away on some snow or ice or mud, your front wheel started to slip, it within milliseconds senses it, brings in the rear wheels seamlessly to give you four-wheel drive, and it is incredibly efficient. We have one and we tow a caravan, and we have not come close to getting stuck with one of them. The advantages of it being part-time in essence is fairly obvious. You're going to get through your tyres far less quickly, you're not going to use as much fuel, and you're going to put far less mechanical stress through a vehicle that compared to ones that use a permanent four-wheel drive system. So much so that, as I say, we've been selling these things for nearly 30 years, and we've never put a spanner on any that I can remember in terms of the four-wheel drive system. So they are incredibly tough, and we've literally sold thousands of these now. The point of the video, as I mentioned at the start, is clearly just to pick up on any issues there might be. There's none at all. It drives absolutely beautifully. As always though, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call.